Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how I did the mum backer for this triple heart-shaped mum. And this was from early 2023 season. I actually forgot that I had this video, so it's getting out there a little late. Here are the loops that I already made for it, and I made 8. And the way I do my heart-shaped backers is I put 3 6.5 inch backers together, which you could use any size backers you want. I know that I'm going to use either 6.5 inch flowers or 7.5 inch flowers. And I will tell you that I do finish this up on a live, and I will put a link to that. I also have a playlist where I put all my triple mums or quad stuff all in that playlist. So you will also get a link to that so you can see all of them. And so I am starting these loops. Oh, so I'm still making the original loops, sorry, I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. And I'm layering these ribbons. So that acetate is the 2.5 is just pink, it's regular pink. And then I have these pretty ribbons that I'm layering on top of it. And I believe both of those ribbons came from Hobby Lobby, if I remember correctly. Doesn't mean you can still get them, but that's where I got them from before. Either already had them or I purchased them early last season. And we did do a little bit of burlap on this mum as well, a little bit of pink burlap. And the way I put my mum backers together, and I know I've shown this, is I go ahead and take the flowers, I open them up, and I will put them in the holes of the backers, and then I see how close together I need to squish those backers together so the flowers are together nicely. And I'm just trying to figure out where I want to put these loops and how many more I'm going to need, and do I want to make them all the same, or do I want to make 2 different sets of loops for the first layer. That's what I'm doing here. I just started out with 8, just randomly see where that got me. There was no rhyme or reason for that. But anyway, I put the 3 backers together, and like I said, I've shown that before. I go ahead and I already have the flowers with the chenille stems and everything, and I just go ahead and put them all in a backer and then squish those backers together and see how close or how far apart I need to put them, and then I glue them and staple them together. Now you can, some people, it might mess them up on the sides where it goes in, so all you need to do is take either another backer and cut it in half, or if you keep ribbon spool ends like I do, and you can cut that in half, reverse it, and glue it on those sides to make it more of a straight, even heart. If you have trouble with that, where it indents like that, it doesn't really bother me, but yeah, you could do that easily and make it look much more like a heart. So if that messes you up, or if that helps you with the heart shape, then go ahead and do that. This ribbon is also from Hobby Lobby, so it's kind of a linen. It looks kind of burlap, but it's linen, and then it has, I believe that's just gold glitter on it. So I did pinks, rose golds, a little bit of burlap, and I'm putting the acetate on the inside of the loop because it's a wired ribbon. I take the wires out because I don't want them getting squished. The loops could get squished and messed up, so if you take the wires out, it's going to stay the natural loop. It's not going to get squished. And then putting the acetate or luster ribbon with it, or whatever type of ribbon you use for homecoming mums, that stiffer ribbon is going to help it hold its shape better for the loop, because those ribbons aren't going to be as good of loops. They're going to kind of go flat. So if you back it up with an acetate, luster, or whatever other stiff ribbon you use, that's going to help it really hold its shape. Plus, I like another color on the inside of the loops, because you do see the mum from all different sides, and it just gives it more dimension. So I really like doing that. I'm cutting my ribbons at 6 inches. I'll go as big as 8 inches. Just depends on the look I'm going for. how big do you want that backer, stuff like that. This is a rose gold ribbon, so I'm just layering that on there to give it a little bit more color. And I'm sorry, I don't remember where that ribbon came from. I believe Connie found that for me on her San Antonio shopping trip, or maybe it was a Houston shopping trip. I don't remember. One of those mom supply stores. She found me a few pinks and rose gold stuff while she did a shopping trip last summer. I want to say it was San Antonio, but it may have been somewhere else, and she may remember. And I like to make sure that they're pretty even. If you were making like a loop chain, you want to make sure that they're all exactly the same. Putting it on a backer, they don't have to be as exact because you're not going to notice if they're off just a little bit. But I do want them pretty close. But I just felt like it needed a touch more pink on the outside. Plus gives it more dimension. This was a higher price mum, so you know, just layering, give them something unique and fun. See how well the loops hold their shape with that acetate on the inside. I usually buy luster, but a lot of those specialty colors you can't get in luster. I got that at Hobby Lobby too, but I ended up not using it because it's almost like a purplish pink up against these pinks. I'm not sure that I used it on anything this last season because it's just such an odd pink. And I'm like, nope. So I got out this little gold ribbon. That is from Hobby Lobby, I think. Isn't that Hobby Lobby's brand or Michael's brand? I can't remember. I'm trying to picture it. Just going to experiment with some different ribbons and see what looks good. Yeah, that's Hobby Lobby. It's pretty, but I'm really covering up the pink with that. Now, the way I do my loops is I start at the top two humps and the bottom loop. That's going to be the very bottom of the heart. And then I build from there. And I learned that from Connie at Southern Cottage. I know everybody has their way of doing the heart, so whatever you find that works best for you. And I'm just seeing, I like to lay everything out and get an idea of where I'm going to put everything. See how it's going to look. See if I like it. Do I need to make any changes, make any more? So I'm trying to go right in the middle there of the hole in the backer, just like I would a single backer, where I when I do fours, you know how I go north, south, east, and west. So I always start out with the north one. So that's basically what I'm doing here. I'm doing the north one on the top two backers, and then doing the south one on the bottom backer. You can see how wide it is by looking at my mat, because I've got it there at the very bottom. So it's between 10 and 11 inches tall. I can't tell exactly, and then about 10 inches wide. It's what I can tell by looking at the map. Like I said, it's been almost a year since I made this mum, so I'm not going to remember everything exactly. There's that bottom one. I really love those loops. I love the way all that ribbon layered look it turned out. I use my mat too, the lines on my mat to really help me with my backers, attaching the loops. I like to hold it up to eye level and look at it so I can, that really helps me. Like when it's laying flat on the table, it's not as easy to see if things are straight or not. But if you hold it up in front of your face, eye level, then you can see better. And it bugs me if they're not straight. Because I think you can tell that, like at the end of the, you know, when it's made, try to make it as perfect as possible. You can't make them perfect, but it bugs me. So see, when you're placing the ribbons on the sides there where it goes in, I know that can bug some people, so you can just add a half a backer or half of a ribbon spool flipped around, not where the rounded side is out, but where the straight line is out. And so that would make that straight on each side like a heart would be. So you can easily do that. That would give your backer a little bit more support too, but pretty sure I showed that in a live before or in a video. I can't remember. Now I'm marking with a pen where these are going to go, how spaced out I want them. Do whatever you need to do to help you with attaching your loops. You know, I'm sure there's some people that can just start attaching them and they're fine. Just eyeball it, it works for them. That's whatever works for you. I'm just showing what I do, and if that helps you, great. If it gives you inspiration, great. If you have tips, you know, put them in the comments. We all learn from each other. I love getting a new tip that saves me time. Just making sure that I got those spaced out exactly where I want it. So when I fill in with those other loops, it's going to cover those backers everywhere that I need it to. And I think I come in with another layer. I can't remember for sure. Like I said, it's been a while, but looking at the picture that I had at the beginning, I am pretty sure. I think I need to pull up that picture again. All right, there's a picture of one side of the backer after it was finished. So I did go in with smaller loops. I thought I did. So you can see that. Hopefully that's a little bit enlarged. So I tried to zoom in on just one side of it so you could really see that. But I'm making sure also when I attach my loops that I've got them the same. I'm not just making sure that they're straight, but I want to make sure that they're on the backer the same, going in or out off the backer. I want to make sure that they're the same measurement as the other one. So that's why I flip it over backwards. See how much of the loop is hanging off the backer. Again, I'm just placing those, make sure that I line those up all correctly, evenly spaced. I'm just going to go in and staple those. And this can be difficult once you start getting all these other loops. Sometimes you can push a loop up and go behind it. like the one beside it, the one you're trying to staple, the one beside it, you can push it up and then staple. But you can't always do that, especially when they're on top of each other like this. It's a little bit more difficult, but that'll help keep you from squishing your loops down. And then also you can go in through the holes. Like these regular backers, the holes are too small, but when I would use the ribbon spool ends, the holes would always be bigger, and so I could easily go in through there. But if you need to like cut that a little bit, those holes, cut like a couple of slits, then you can go in that way, and that makes it easier. You can also glue and staple if you need to. Do whatever you need to do. I hate making the holes too big though, because then the flowers can move around when you try to go to attach those. So you have to be careful of that, because if you get the flower, especially on a single, if the flower is over on one side too much, you can tell. I think it was the last heart-shaped I made before this one. I used the Sam's Club ribbon spool ends, and they worked out really, really nicely because they're thicker, so it's sturdier. And then, like I said, they have the bigger holes, and you can easily go in with your stapler, and you don't have to mess those holes up. But you do, like I said, you do have to watch the flowers because they will move around a little bit. Just seeing where I'm at. And I do not remember if these are 6.5 or 7.5 inch flowers. Probably talk about that on the live. I don't remember for sure. Either one will work on 6.5 inch backers. You just want to make sure you've got the backers together enough for whatever size flowers, or apart enough. So when I do a backer, I want to make sure that you can really see those loops behind the flowers. You go to all that trouble, and if you just cover them up with flowers and you can't, it doesn't even, sometimes I'll see a mum and you can't even see the loops because it's the wrong size flower with the backer and the loops. So if you end up with too big of a flower, you can cut your loops longer. So instead of 6 inches, you could go 7 or 8 to make those loops bigger if you need to. If you've already got the loops made, try to squish those flowers up or something, or buy some smaller flowers, whatever you need to do. But it just seems like a lot to go to all this trouble to make all these loops and then not be able to see them. Okay, I keep getting knocked off the recording. I don't know if it's my microphone or my computer, but it'll just quit recording or quit doing the voiceover. So I get lost on where I was. So I apologize for that if I'm not making a lot of sense. It's like the 4th or 5th time it's done it to me. But anyway, try to use the right size flowers with the right size backer. That's why I have the flowers on hand, and I'm constantly checking it as I'm making the backer to make sure everything looks good. So here's the smaller layers. This is going to be the 1 5/16 inch acetate with 1.5 inch wired ribbons. I also call this the 1.3 inch acetate or luster. It's the number 9 or number 7. It's not a number 7. There's no number 7. But anyway, and again, layering those, see where I want them. Do I need to make more? Do I want to make something different? You can make all the same loops for the first layer and all the same loops for the second layer. It just depends what look you're going for. And I'm showing where else I need to fill in. And that gold ribbon, I'm pretty sure that's from Hobby Lobby. It is wired, but it has a very thin wire in it. Some wired ribbons are very difficult to get the wire out of them, and those I just have to deal with it if it's very thin like that. But if I can take the wires out, I will. And then this is a pretty rose gold, kind of meshy looking ribbon. And that's another one that Connie found me at a mom supply store. So again, I did the acetate on the inside, and then the pretty gold on the outside. Something else you can do with that gold ribbon, they have it in silver too. It may be a Christmas ribbon, I can't remember, but it's more solid metallic glitter looking on the edges, and then the middle, I don't know if you can see that, the middle is kind of a see-through, like almost an organza or something, but you can layer the outside with a smaller acetate or luster and then make a loop chain like that. You could do, if you had small enough stickers, you could put stickers down the middle, but if I wasn't putting that rose gold glitter in the middle, you could put the pink in the middle. Either this, I can't remember offhand if it's the 7/8 or the 9/16 that fits in it, and you can find that in the 2.5 inch too, so you can do the number 9 in the middle of it. But that makes pretty loops too, like a pretty loop chain. Again, I'm getting my flowers out. I'm always getting my flowers out. Where do I need to attach these loops at so you can see them? I don't want them to be hidden. I don't want them to be too far off where you can still see staples and stuff and then end up having to add another layer. So it just really helps me to have the flower in there so I can get an idea of where I need to attach the loops. Where's my stapler? I'm always, where's my stapler? I know it's beside me, but where? I just love this backer. I think those ribbons all turned out so pretty. If you need to, you can also fill in with tinsel. You could fill in with gold tinsel with this color scheme. You can fill in with feathers. The very first backers I made were heart-shaped, but they were 4-inch flower heart-shaped. And I just did either tinsel or feathers. I know I did some with feathers. I just glued and stapled the feathers around the edge of the heart-shaped backer, and I did the same thing. I did the 3 4-inch backers together. So they were mini mums with a mini heart-shaped backer. And I can't remember if I did them all with a feather boa or some of them were with tinsel too. I think I did a variety because I made several for these little cheerleaders, like 1st and 2nd grade cheerleaders. So if you don't know how to make all this stuff and you don't want to go to all this trouble, depending on what you're making them for, what the budget is and all that, that's an option for you. Are you making the mum for yourself? And, if you're on a budget, sometimes you can't get all these ribbons. And if you need to do feather boas or something, that it works. And then if you want to use that as filler on the inside, you can do that as well. I will tell you that after this was made, and I don't think I filmed it, but I did go in on the sides where the 2 flowers meet. I did go in with a 4-inch flower on either side and attached that. So it actually ended up with 5 flowers on the heart-shaped backer. You can also take the flowers apart like you would a flower chain. I don't think I've ever done a video for that because I don't like that chain, but I know a lot of people do, the one where you take the flowers apart and you build a chain out of it. So you just take the petals apart, and I like to take a couple of petals, 2 or 3, fold them in half, and then fold them 2 times. So fold it in half and then fold it, and staple it, and then you can glue it in between. I've been slowly working on a quad mum, and that's what I'm doing with that one, filling in. I'm filming a lot of the quad, but I haven't got it all filmed. Some of it I'm working on in my time. But right here, where each side on the left and right meets, I debated like putting a rose or putting some kind of burlap flower in there, but I didn't like the way that looked. So I ended up just doing 2 4-inch flowers, the white flowers, one on each side, and it filled it in perfectly. I will actually show another picture of the finished mum so you can see that. You can see how full it is. Now you could tell from the finished picture that I did add another set of loops, and I'm pretty sure I did that during the live. And I'm going to show you on both my channels where you can find the other videos and lives from this mum. So Crafty Bugs Homecoming Mum Beehive, that's my new Homecoming Mum channel. Please go subscribe to that if you're not. And here is one video I have from this mum on that channel. And of course I worked on this mum before I made that channel, so most everything's going to be on my regular H. Cooper Crafty Bug channel. But if you go down through the videos, and I'm showing you like you would look, scrolling through, there's one right there. And you see on the thumbnails, I've got a picture of the mum on there. So no issue, you should be able to find them all. Most of them are lives though. I'm just scrolling because I can't remember what all. There's another one on the left that shows it finished. I think I did a really long video outside showing it finished. There's another video of it, of the triple mum. There's the big victory braid I made for it using 6 ribbons. Now up here, go to live streams, or it just says live. Again, scroll down. And you're going to see, you see that right there. There, got a picture of it on the thumbnail so you know which ones. And that one, I've got it in the thumbnail. I can't remember if I did anything with it on that one, but you can go check that out. And I'm trying to see which one where I did the backer. Because I know I finished up the backer on one of, oh, right there, because see, I've got the backer on the thumbnail as well. All right, so here is the live stream, and you can see where I left off. And my microphone did it again to me, by the way, just cut me off. Again, I don't know if it's my computer or my microphone, but it's driving me crazy. But I'm showing what I got done, but you guys just saw that. Now I'm pulling some more ribbons, and what you're seeing there on the bottom left, that's me scrolling, trying to find where it starts. So that's why it's doing that, because I'm kind of scrolling through the video. But I do one more set of loops so you see that on this live stream. Now that is the playlist that contains all the lives and videos of all the heart-shaped backers that I did. And since I'm working on a quad, I'm putting all that in there as well. So you can easily find that again on my channels, where you go to home, video, shorts, live, then you go to playlist and scroll through my playlist, and there it is right there. You can see that heart-shaped backer as the first one. And just click on view full playlist, and it's got all of them in there. Any mums that were heart-shaped, triples, or bigger, that's where I worked on those. Except for the paw print mum, I think I made my own a separate playlist for all the paw print stuff. But there they all are, so you can find that if you want to see different things that I did with this particular mum. I didn't, like I said, I didn't get everything filmed, but I got quite a bit of it. So I hope that helps you out. If you have any questions, comment. Please be kind with those comments. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Don't forget to do all the YouTube-y things, giving it a thumbs up, which is liking, subscribing, commenting, all that good stuff. I appreciate y'all so much. Have a wonderful mum season. So happy mum making, happy crafting, everyone.